I think we're live finally after some technical difficulties. But welcome to Performance Racing League, the Sunday tier, and we're here for tier 2. Unfortunately, tier 1 could not be covered, but I'm not alone in the booth yet again. But this time I'm joined by Destroyer. Welcome.
Thank you. It's going to be exciting in round 2 for China.
Yeah, China is definitely an interesting track with a long straight and a lot of technical parts, so it's going to be interesting to see what setups people have gone for, if they've gone for low downforce or high downforce.
There's a lot of hairpins as well, so going round very tight corners that they will need to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely.
There's some drivers are now on laps.
Yeah, I'm currently on with Grayson. I think Muppet might be the first one to cross the line. He will be. In the Haas. And Disgruntled goes with a 34.6.
I will have Flying Grayson coming up on the last corner now to complete his first lap, see if he can beat Disgruntled Muppet.
Not quite a 35.4 from the Alpine.
It's always still got 13 minutes to go in the session, so there's plenty of time left to improve.
Oh yeah,
as always.
Sure. Darth sets a 35.9 at 30. Goes P1 with a 34.2. I wonder if we're gonna see people get into the 32s. Might be someone dipping into that 32.9. That's Tac Delta. Noob! 33.5.
Wow.
In the Mercedes.
Impressive time.
Yeah, that's a very solid time. I think it's as fast as my first time in Tier 1. I think I did a 33.5 on my first lap.
And from what I saw from the last few corners, he was stuck behind the Ferrari of Tafur, so he could have gone even quicker.
Yeah. And Northern in the Williams, 33.2. So we're definitely gonna see some 32 times because the track evolution is quite heavy here.
P3 for Dutch.
A very solid Williams running so far.
They're looking strong in Canada. No, China.
Nico goes P2, 33.3, and Rodri P3, 33.4. So we have some very solid lap times coming in, and a very close grid, as we saw last time out as well. We see a lot of people getting out of the way. Getting out of the way in Sector 2 is so tricky because all of a sudden you're stuck on the racing line even though you were off track just a couple of meters ago.
Yeah. And it looks like we don't have P1 and 2 in the championship standings, as they are missing for today's race, which was both Red Bull drivers.
Ah. Oh yeah, Will and Tar Heels obviously won in Brazil, but neither are here today. As Lucas said, just shy of that 32, 133.0.
So the track evolution is starting to come in, it seems.
Yes, for sure. Although Lucas 8 is a very quick driver as well. Definitely.
Yeah.
As
Oh,
Craig,
132.
32.7. There we go.
Currently
That's,
7th in the championship.
yeah, there was a lot of chaos last time out. I'm starting to remember. There was, I think, 7 people who jumped the starts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. The first 7 people all jumped the starts.
All having to serve drive-thrus.
Yep. And I think there was either 3 or 4 safety cars as well.
Oh, okay. So
So
quite
it
a
was,
chaotic, crazy race.
yeah, for sure. Although I will say at least 3 of those safety cars were definitely warranted. So it was not like the safety cars were sensitive. They were just. It was just a
Yeah.
little bit of chaos. Of course, Brazil is a very tricky track to race because it's so short and also quite narrow as well.
Well, currently Camo Banana is on a flying lap and he went purple in the second sector.
Ooh. I wonder how truthful that is though, because I noticed last time it gave purples and then they went like P9.
Yeah.
So I don't quite trust this game because it's EA, but
And many bugs.
yes, a lot of bugs. As Camel Banana
We got
goes
second.
P2, maybe it was true. Wow, 32.7.
It seems drivers are now going out for their second laps.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. I think Lucas has pushed on for another lap. Because he was only a 10th down in sector 2. Yeah, he's burning ERS. Very brave because the softs don't last around here. See Lucas Aid. Nah, he jumps into the pits.
As I believe Disgruntled Muppet has started his second lap.
He has, he has. Three temps up currently. Would put him closer to the rest of the top 10. But he needs to find a little bit more time to improve on that position.
This is now going into the final 2 corners. Trying to get that turning correctly.
Yeah, let's see. The final turn is so tricky. It's still very. It has a tendency to spin you out to get it wrong, and it does jump Cersei in the end, 33.7 from the Haas. When Darth has losses from wing, so he goes back into the pits. So does the food. attack Delta through the penultimate corner towards the final corner. No, also goes into the pits. It's not raining, is it? I can't see any rain.
It seems like it's gone a lot darker though.
Yeah, definitely. It's been very overcast this qualifying session. Of course, Tier 1 had rain all race, so maybe it's still in the air. Darth is sorry, Grayson was 5 seconds down. Rodri is pushing in the Alpha Romeo. Has no ERS left though. Maybe they're realizing they won't have enough time to get around again, so they abort to go for that final lap. Rodri also flies into the pits. Nico has no ERS, that's not gonna be an improvement. Craig also into the pits.
No one's completing a lap this time, it seems.
Yeah, it's either gotten very cold and suddenly everyone is lacking grip, or they are doing what I said and aborting to get that final run in when the track is at its best.
As Lucasade starts his lap.
Lucasade currently P4 and in the standings P3.
So this could be a very important lap for him.
Yeah, could definitely benefit from taking an extra point.
As all the other drivers...
Oh, go on.
As the other drivers start to come out of the pit lane for their final laps.
Yeah. I was just going to say that as he's currently right behind his championship contender with Nick. Actually, no, never mind. Yeah, he's right behind Nico John, but Nico John is right behind him in the championship. That's English is tricky.
Even I struggle.
Yeah, and you have it as your native language, which I don't. Let's see then, Lucasade, as he spots the apex, goes very wide, actually. Very interesting. Does not take... Oof, nearly runs off on the exit. But goes provisional pole, 32.6 is the time to beat for everyone.
But will that be enough for pole?
That is the big question. As I think Disgruntled will be the next one to actually set a lap. Very neat through the technical section. And it's up 2.5 temps.
This Darth Chrism, I think, is about to complete a lap.
Ooh, interesting.
So it improves, but doesn't improve a place.
Yeah, went to a 35.9 for the Mercedes. Solid lap time.
As the checkered flag is raised, final laps are here.
Yeah, disgruntled across the line. The us improved slightly, but no tire or no position improvement. Sorry. Camel Banana. Yeah, coming through the final turn now. Also get scared of that apex. 32.5. Camel Banana currently pole position. Rodri, next one. Invalid. Craig.
Can he take that provisional pole away? No, he can't.
No. Oh, and Nico Jonas spun. Oh, don't get disqualified.
That it will be him out of for pole.
Yeah. Attack Delta is going slow, it looks like. Oh, it locks up. Let's see what Attack Delta does. We'll take the checkered, but it didn't look fast, but it might be fast. It is P11. 34.3 from Tac Delta, and that is your qualifying.
That was an improvement.
Puts it on pole.
Now for the most important race.
Yeah, that is where most of the points are given out, of course. With 50 points being on offer for the race win.
As Camo Banana hopes to improve from 8th in the standings.
Do you want to take them through the order?
Sure. Well, first we have Camo Banana and Lucas Aiden P2, Craig Dunn rounding up top 3, then Nico John, Northern Canuck, Lawadri, New Plays, Dutch, Disgruntled Muppet, Cersei, Tac Delta, Flying Grayson, Darth Chrism, and Taffer rounding up the grid.
Yeah. Do you have any predictions going into the race?
It's going to be a tight race, I think, between Lucas Aid and Craig for the win.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I wonder what pace Camel Banana will have. Of course, only mustered a P8 in Brazil, but of course, it's so tricky because some people are just monsters on some tracks.
Yeah. But others are also really good at qualifying and not so good in the race. So
Yeah.
I have to see how that plays out.
Of course, Mr. Saturday for PRL, Adam Suzuki. I love you, bro, but he tends to be a little bit of a quality merchant. And he will, of course, be the first to admit that he has a tendency to end up far down in Captain Sunday, which, of course, is run for the PRL Championship as well. I wonder what strategies people are gonna use.
Because it seems to be a dry race.
Yeah, it definitely looks very sunny. Not a lot of clouds in the sky. But I think softs are pretty much a no-go. They only last like 8 laps, maybe. So I think we're gonna see a lot of hards and mediums.
Yeah.
The question is in what order, and of course, there's always that madman on softs.
And softs will most likely be used if there's a late safety car.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The softs are very, very quick, but also die very, very fast.
As we'll go straight into the race due to no probation lap. Oh,
Here we
and the
go.
race has begun.
Camo Banana with a decent start, but Lucasade got that second wind on that start. Of course, has the inside for turns 1 and 2, but can Camo Banana keep it side by side? No. That inside line for turn 3 is very strong. Oh, and I think Nico John has... Yeah, Nico John.
Nico John's been spun out. He's still in the race.
Yeah, can definitely get back with a little help of a safety car, of course. Would definitely be nice, but has the pace to catch them if needed.
As it seems, Flying Grayson has chosen to go on that soft tyre.
Yeah, I told you there's always that madman. And today it was the Alpine.
It's definitely going to be interesting with Craig on those hards in the top, start in third. See how much he can hold on.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna struggle for the time being, but as soon as those mediums reach 25%, he's gonna be very quick. And of course, when he boxes for the mediums, as I think there was a little bit of contact between Craig and Camo. Oh, a noob tries. I don't know if he tried it, but he went round the outside. Had to go off track though, so is now under pressure instead from Rodri.
Oh, contact between Cersei and Disgruntled Muppet at the back on the main straight.
Oh, you don't want to make contact on the straight, boys and girls. Can't forget about that. As Darth is pointing the wrong direction, and Nico John is actually with Tafur. Impressive.
There's a big gap from the top 7 to 7th to 8th though.
Yeah. And Lucasade is getting himself a gap as well. Attack Delta. The Astons is not having a fun time right now.
As Lucasade has pulled a 1 second gap, so there will be no DRS for Camo.
Yeah, and Camo has actually pulled away from Craig as well. Rodri round the outside. Can they make it stick? No, not quite. I think went off the track a little bit, and now Northern Canuck round the outside into the final corner. Can't quite keep it there. It's very tricky to make a move in that corner. And then backs off. Doesn't really want to send it on Rodri here. I think it's sensible to just wait a little bit. You have 28 laps. May as well use them. So Rodri got a good exit.
Since this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, that's the famous saying goes. Should then be followed up by immediately locking up into the next corner though, for it to be...
As Lucas's now trying to pull a 2-second gap. The Camo Banana in second.
Yeah, Lucasade is flying at the moment. As DRS is going to be able to be used now for especially Noob in P4, but also Rodri, who is the bravest on the brakes. It's Noob. Don't run into Craig though. As Cersei makes the move.
As Rodri is still trying to find that move on Noob.
Yeah, it's so tricky when you're in a train because, of course, the car ahead also has DRS. So it's so tricky to make the move. You really have to have some pace advantage.
Oh, as Cersei takes a weird line, but manages to make that work.
Yes,
He
Cersei
went-
P9.
He went round on the outside of the track instead of taking the conventional racing line, but still managed to stay ahead.
Yeah, that is a very interesting line. As we're on board with Craig just looking back at a big train of cars, just trying to make their way past, but Craig gets a very good turn 12/13 and has a big gap when we go into the braking for 14 and 15, which is this little kink. We can see Rodri has actually made it past the Red Bull. No, sorry, Mercedes.
Mercedes.
That's the one. I even have the logos. What more do I need?
At least so far this race has been to be quite clean. There's not been as much big crashes. No one's out of the race.
Yeah, it's really been clean. A lot of respect shown between the drivers. Craig looked really on edge through that left-hander, I think it is.
Those hards aren't working as well against those mediums.
Yeah, it's been the story on the last couple of F1 games. The tire difference is very, very big on this track. Stars, I think, has had a moment. Is back pointing the right direction now, though. Oh, and Northern gets a very good exit compared to Noob, but Noob... Oh, they're keeping it side by side through the final turn. Impressive stuff. Noob keeps the position for now, but is under some serious pressure, as we also see Noob in the foreground. Oh, sorry, not Noob. Rodri goes side by side with Craig for a little bit. in the foreground of...
Two fights going on simultaneously.
Yeah. I wish we could have that small screen that the real F1 use, of course, to have both fights showing at the same time.
But will we see the Williams work together to try and get past Noob? Because they're both in P6 and 7.
Yeah, that could be a play, especially if they're in a chat together. It's very easy to coordinate some type of move. Rodri is really hunting that slipstream from Craig.
As Northern goes for a move and completes it.
Yeah. Oh, Noob breaks very late though. Can he turn it around? Has kept it on the inside and will have the inside for the final turn. But has to back out of it. The Northern Canuck is past, but is without DRS. As Rodri makes it up into P3, of course, the one time I don't look at that battle.
And it seemed Darth Quism spun again at the back, which is not having a good day for him.
Yeah, struggling. And of course, you should never retire early because you never know what's gonna happen.
Because a shock safety car can happen at any moment.
Precisely.
Oh, as Noob goes wide.
Oh. And Dutch went wide in the long right-hander. I think it's a double right-hander actually, it is. And Noob with some serious straight line speed on that Mercedes, as compared to real life, of course. Gets by, and Dutch can't even do the switchback.
And Nico John goes for a move and disgruntled Muppet. But fortunately doesn't manage to make that happen.
Yeah, I think he noticed that Disgruntled was side by side and he let him back onto the racing line. And we'll go for it into turn 1 instead. Down the inside.
Which turns to the outside for this corner.
Yeah, turn 3. And if Disgruntled can... Oh, they're so close! And now through 4, and there is a little bit of contact. We can see the hand of anger coming up. Nico John decides to back off. Thought he would send it into 6, but decided against it. Some very good racing from these two.
Tier 2 seems to be very clean this race.
Yeah, definitely. As we also saw in the foreground, looking at Disgruntled and Nico, Dutch and Noob going side by side into turn 11. And now Nico John and Disgruntled side by side. But I think Nico John will start to pull away with the DRS. Into the braking zone, is ahead. Can Disgruntled go for a switchback? He's gonna look for it at least. But can't quite pull it off. The grip isn't quite there. Dutch getting very close as well to Noob, and Noob goes deep into turn 1, through turn 2 now. And Noob parks it very well on the apex. through turn 3 and 4. Now through the kink of turn 5. And he backs off into 6. Doesn't quite want to go for it. As Tafur has had a spin turn 1 / turn 2. And Lucozade currently 4 seconds clear of Camo. Camo 4 seconds clear of Rodri. As Noob picks up the first 3 seconds. That's of course going to be a factor to keep in mind to the end of the race. Dutch has a very interesting line, but it's going to get a very good exit and will fly past even before DRS. Dutch off to P6.
As Noob is flashing on the back of that Mercedes.
Yeah. So really pushing.
As the grid's a lot more spread out.
No, Grayson carries on. Interesting.
As Tac Delta now goes into the pit.
Tac Delta does become the first to box. I'm gonna assume a set of hards. As Disgruntled had a moment and is now behind Cersei. I was looking at Tac Delta to see what tires he put on. It's another set of mediums.
2-stopper for him then.
Yep.
Is he expecting a late safety car?
Could potentially happen. We saw it in Tier 1. But we also had rain to contend with, of course. Which definitely helps with late safety cars. And Noob gets a very good exit this time. It's now alongside and will go past into turn 14. Even before turn 14, actually. Oh, but it's very slidey on the exit. And now Dutch is gonna put Noob under some serious pressure into the final turn. And with DRS, as we have someone random join. As Nico John goes into the pits, as does Disgruntled.
But Flying Grayson stays out on those set of soft tyres.
Very spicy. Oh, as there's a little bit of lag. Noob and Dutch still battling hard. And Nico John out right behind Tafur in the Ferrari.
That won't be beneficial to him.
Nico John onto a set of mediums, which is his second set, so another 2-stop then. Very interesting.
And Disgruntled, my pit seems to be going for another 2-stop as well, going on a set of mediums.
That's very interesting.
Could there be rain that we don't know about?
Could be. I mean, it does look a little bit cloudier, but it doesn't look like rain clouds. Yeah, if rain is coming at the end, then medium is the best strategy, of course. But 50% races are generally too short for a 2-stop to work.
Nico John gets the overtake done on Taffer before the DRS.
Yeah, I think he got it out of the snakehead of turn 12 and 13.
Another set of mediums for Noob.
Very, very interesting then. A lot of people with the 2-stop.
As Lucasade has just absolutely flown away from Camo Banana.
Yeah, he's absolutely chilling. Gotta stay vigilant though, to not spin. It has a couple of turns that wants to throw you if you take them wrong.
Yep.
Of course, one of them being turn 16.
As Craig is now in the DRS of La Vaudry.
That's gonna be interesting. The mediums starting to fall off then. I would assume they are about 40% at this point. Whilst Craig might have 30%.
Could Craig's strategy be paying off?
Yeah, potentially. But of course, we're gonna see the biggest gain next stint when he puts on that medium compared to everyone else on hards. But currently has to catch, what's that, 10 seconds to Lucasade? 11 seconds even. As Grayson finally pits off of those softs. As Nico John puts up the fastest lap of the race.
And Grayson moves on to set up mediums.
Could potentially get them to the end from there.
Tafu has now decided to go on the hards. That's the first set of hards that we've seen be put on in the pit stops.
Yeah, so Tafur is definitely done then. We can definitely go to the end from here. Only 15 laps or 16 to go.
Barring any surprises.
Yeah, that's always important to keep in mind. And Craig getting closer and closer to Rodri in that Alpha.
Yellow flag in sector 2.
Yeah, that's Darth.
Oh.
Not having a fun time. As it's starting to cool down, the lull before the storm. See Craig just on that teetering edge of DRS. Did not get it this lap. Oh, and gets a little bit of a slide as well. Not what you want when you're hunting. Meanwhile, Nico John is hunting Noob in the Mercedes. Does not get DRS either. And Darth onto a set of soft tires.
Interesting strategy.
Yeah, that's surely gotta be another stop.
Unless he's waiting for that rain.
Yeah, it is getting darker to be fair.
As we're just over halfway.
Yeah, The problem is though, if the rain comes at lap 22, say it's Inter's ready at lap 25, 26, because sometimes the rain takes forever to get ready. It might not even be worth putting on a set of Inters. But then also you have to stop if you've done mediums, as quite a few of these drivers have done.
Unless they're hoping to just stick on a set of softs at the end for quick bursts of space in that light drizzle.
Yeah. That could also be done, of course, if someone like Tafur that has stuck on hards, they're gonna struggle big time in that drizzle because of the coolness of the track and air, of course. Nico John again just missing out on that DRS, but is closer to Noob, and I think we'll pick up the DRS here.
As the top 7 still hasn't pit yet.
Yeah, they're all still on their original tires. Very interesting to see the development with the weather. Noob has also caught Cersei and will get DRS.
Nico John's right behind Noob as well.
Yeah, he caught him last lap, but now the job of getting by is gonna get a little bit tougher as Noob is gonna get DRS, unless he goes for it here. Round the outside, he does actually get it, as Lucas said, goes into the pits. Camo Banana sticks out and will take the lead of the race. Rodri, of course, kind of have to stay out. And actually, Nico John got by Cersei as well.
Lucas 8 going on a set of softs.
Interesting. 12 laps, that's a very long time on the softs.
But we did see Flying Grayson do that.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. It is possible, but they won't be fast for the last 5 laps, 4 laps.
But unfortunately, Lucas has got out right behind Dutch, which he won't enjoy.
Yeah, we'll need to make quick work off of that. Canuck has put on a set of hards, so I honestly have no idea what's going on with the weather.
The strategies have gone out the window.
And Lucas gets by Dutch very quick. Lucas is showing some real tier 1 pace here right now. Doing very, very well. It's gonna be interesting to see what the on-track leaders does. Oh, as we have a couple of spins, Tafur, and I think Darth had a moment as well. No safety cars though. Camo sticks out, Rodri stays out, Craig comes in. What tires will be put on that Alpha Tauri? And there is rain! There is rain!
Could he be going on a set of inters? Could he have pitted a bit too early?
Oh, that's definitely too early if it's inters. It goes on to the mediums. Why not soft? It's definitely raining. Cersei braves it out. Dutch has come in. He's coming in for those soft tires.
And Noob comes in.
Yeah. From
Set of hearts.
What is going on?
As rain now does seem to be streaking down on the track.
Yeah, it's definitely raining.
Which is going to play a vital role in how this race pans out now.
Yeah, those with higher downforce is gonna become faster and faster. Especially if we hop onto the inters at the end. They are gonna be very, very quick compared to the lower downforce. Yes, we have a little bit of a battle here for P11, Nublis and TAC Delta, very close together.
As Camo Banana has now entered the pits.
What tires does the Alpine go for? It's still way too early for Inters. I think it's another couple of laps. As Lucas said, goes to the fastest. And it's
Inters!
Inters.
He's gone early.
Yeah.
This is a
Maybe it
big
is a
gamble.
little bit wetter than we can see. Because of course sometimes the spectator cam is a little bit buggy. But it doesn't look very dry. I think it's another couple of laps at least.
He might have gone to
Craig
Las
is...
Vegas a bit too early.
It has to be too early.
Huge gamble here.
I mean, as long as he can keep them kind of cool and not wear out too much, it's a great call because he doesn't have to stop again. And the pit lane is kind of long here. It's not the longest, of course, but it's still another 20 seconds that you have to add to your time at least. But yeah, look at Craig, how close he is. He's gonna be able to make the move once the DRS. Very clever from Craig.
Especially when the DRS is still out, going on Inters is very audacious.
Yeah, I think the DRS is not quite usable this time in this game, because it does tend to be a little bit late, but it's still a good indication.
Lavodri is in the pits now. See what tyres he's going on. Inters.
Yeah, Inters on the Alfa Romeo as well. I think we're gonna start to see more and more cars come in for that Inters. I still think it's a little bit early. Looks a little bit dry still.
We have 8 laps remaining.
Yeah. And I wonder when is the... Has New picked up another?
Second. Yeah, that's his second time penalty.
Rodri round the outside of Nico John. Can't quite keep it.
Disgruntled Muppets now on a set of Inters, while Cersei came into the pits to go on mediums.
Oh, I've just looked at the onboard. Oh, yeah. Inters is probably it this lap. I think people should start to trickle in for the Inters.
Have to see what Lucasade does. Can he get out ahead of Camo Banana?
It's gonna be tight. It's, what, 20 seconds? Oh, and that's Darth going slowly, I think. I think it's just letting them by, actually. Never mind. Lucasade stays out. I think. Yeah. And Rodri actually overtaking Nico John, so definitely Inter's starting to look faster.
And so does Northern Canuck, but he's on those hard tyres.
So yeah, unless Nico John has trouble with anything, the Inters is definitely the tire to be on. Canuck stays out on the hards. Nico John goes very deep into the pit lane. And will most likely put on a set of inters.
Will we see Lucozade pit this lap or continue on?
Still 21 seconds between Lucozade and Camo. And Lucozade seemed to be gaining so far, so maybe he's not seeing the course to move quite yet.
As the rest of the grid starts to move on to inters.
Yeah, this is very, very odd weather. It doesn't look that wet, but when you see the sort of traction between Nico and Rodri, it was night and day, but at the same time Canuck is keeping up pretty well. Oh, struggling through there. I think the tires are starting to get a little bit cold.
Lucozade stays out.
Yet again. The thing is, right now, Lucozade is currently, I think, a pit stop ahead of Camo. However, he can stay out and probably keep it unless the heavens absolutely opens and it becomes almost full wet.
Yeah.
Canuck doesn't know what to do. Ends up in the pit lane at last. Went deep and then had a moment of indecisiveness. Couldn't really decide if they were gonna keep on or go into the pits, so ended up in the middle of it.
Well, the gap between Camo and Lucozade has actually increased, so could the softs have been a better choice than the inters?
Yeah, it looks like it. It definitely looks like inters now. The track has that grease to it.
Cousin retires in the pits.
Yeah. I got a little bit excited when I saw the message. I was kind of hoping for a safety car to spice it up. But of course, Lucozade does not want that safety car.
Cersei going on
20 seconds.
Cersei is just going to set on a set of mediums.
I wonder if that's a driver error or a strategy call. Lucozade is in.
He's taken this risk. I'll have to be cautious going into the pits though.
Yeah, I wonder if Lucozade just tried to make sure he gets ahead of Craig. Because if Craig stays out, Craig braves it out. Will he come out in P1 or P2? It's going to be P1.
Does go on. DRS is disabled.
So that is the official Inters is better.
Come on!
Oh, it's very close. Side by side.
Lucosade's tyres won't be as warm.
Inside now for Camo Banana, who takes the, well, I'm gonna say net lead of this race. Lucozade looks towards the inside, but decides against it.
As it's very tricky in wet conditions. They need to be careful.
Yeah, and I think most people are gonna be running dry setups, so it's gonna be very gingerly for a couple of them, especially if they're running very low downforce. As the gap to Craig has gone down by a second.
As Camo messes up a bit.
And Lucozade is basically pushing him through these two right-handers. Who has the best straight line speed? Looks to be Camo Banana, actually.
So a bit of fuel saving from Lucozade.
Could be, could be. Oh, Lucozade! With a big slide on the exit.
Nearly messing up.
Craig has stayed out but has lost 2 seconds this last lap.
It's going to be tight from the top three.
I don't think Craig is ending on the podium if he stays out. And won't if he pits either. Because look at that gap coming down, already down to 1.7. Lucasade looks to the inside, but backs out of the move yet again. But has a good exit and takes what will be the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. Oh, and gets caught behind Craig, who is really struggling. Oh, contact! Sneaks it down the inside, does Lucasade, up to P1. Camo sneaks through, up to P2. And Craig really needs to box to make sure he gets P4. Rodri.
Now Rodri is now caught up.
Just look at the difference. Craig really needs to box just to... As this console leaves.
Could be a disconnection issue.
Yeah. I'll see if I have him. See if I can send an invite back. As Rodri gets...
As Craig continues out on those set of mediums.
Yeah, I think that's the wrong call. I mean, I don't think he'll lose. But I don't see why you wouldn't just box.
As the two Williams drivers are starting to fight.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check. Oh yeah, it does that way. Yeah, no, I can't. There you go.
Now Rodri's caught up now with Camo Banana. Can he make it an Alfa Romeo 1-2?
It would be the second 1-2 of the season. Of course, Red Bull scored a 1-2 in Brazil.
But another key thing to indicate is, can the Williams drivers catch up to Craig on those set of mediums?
Gap is currently 26 seconds and going down at a big rate of knots. I don't think they will, but I think it will be uncomfortably close.
Flying Grayson got his elbows out on that AI disgruntled Muppet.
Yeah, such a shame for Disgruntled to disconnect. It's down to P11. Will come home in, at worst, P11, I think. I don't think the Ferraris will catch up. And Lucas it again, just absolutely checked out. It's 5.6 seconds clear. Disgruntled gets back in, that's good.
As he can hopefully finish the race.
And Craig goes in and comes out P7 in the end. Yeah, there's a few laps too late to keep P4. But we'll probably have some good pace over the guys ahead, so maybe can rescue something from this. Rodri is looking at the back of Camo Banana. I think Camo had a better second part of the turn. Rodri had a better first part of the turn. But now Rodri seems to have some serious straight line speed over Camo. Into
As
turn
it's now
14.
as it's the fight for P2 for the rest of the race.
Yeah. As Lucas said, begins the penultimate lap. Rodri still right on the back of the Alpine.
Tries to outbrake and catch up and be, as there's 3 laps remaining now.
Oh, Camo said in chat that it was gonna rain towards the end. I didn't see it.
A spin from Nico John.
Oh, Nico John is not enjoying that turn 14. Oh, and again, nearly loses it. Or did lose it actually, but nearly hits a wall.
It was looking like a great recovery drive from him after spinning on that one.
Yeah, it definitely still is a very good drive. P7 currently.
We've only seen one driver get track limit penalties, which is Noob, but he's done that twice.
Yeah, it's been very good. Of course, this track is not the heaviest on track limits. It's only really the final turn where you can really either extend or cut on the inside. The rest is quite... I guess you can cut this this turn enough. Turn 14. Oh, and Camo has gone deep. Rodri, can they get a better exit? Not quite, but it's not over yet. Turn 16 now.
As we head on to the final lap of the Chinese Grand Prix in Performance Racing League.
Yeah, Rodri fakes to the inside, but stays behind for now. Can they cut underneath, maybe, to make the move? Not quite. Alfa Romeo is putting the Alpine under immense pressure right now. Rodri will not be close enough to make the move into turn 6. Will have to wait. Camel does go a little bit deep again though. Rodri with a good exit. Can't quite get close enough to make a move in this technical S section. Comes out to get underneath. Get a good line throughout the corner. It's very close to Camel Banana now. As a Ferrari has had a spin. At the back.
Taffer has spun.
Here we go then. Rodri, can you get a good enough exit to challenge Camo Banana again? Rodri with a good first part, but Camo with a better second part. Who will get the run? Looks to the inside a little bit. But it's not close enough. Lucasade crossing the line to win the Chinese Grand Prix for Tier 2. But back to the action. Camo Banana seems to be holding on for P2 through the final turn. Doesn't risk anything with the apex and will come home. P2. Rodri gets a P3. Northern Canuck is going to be the next one to cross the line. But Craig, right on the back of Dutch, is
going into the final hairpin.
Yeah, is sending it. Will he get it stopped?
Can he make the move stuck?
Dutch tries to cut underneath. Canuck crossing the line very, very soon, but Craig does get the move done. Very, very nice recovery from Craig to get P5 at least. Only missing out on a few points. Nico John, after that turn 1/turn 2 spin, will come across the line to finish P7. Disgruntled, who had a disconnect, gets back up to P10 after attack Delta, I think, has run out of fuel. As Alpine's Flying Grayson comes over the line and picks up P8 due
because
to
of
penalties. Disgruntled picks up P10 and Tac Delta. Crawling. Cersei is coming, but it will be too little, too late, as Tac Delta will crawl across the line for P11, and Cersei rounds us off with P12 as the lap Tafur already crossed the line. What a race!
That was amazing. And a brilliant drive from Lucozade to get that first. Recovery drive from Nico John. Camo tried on our data strategy, which unfortunately didn't pay off. Lavaudry doing well to get that podium, unfortunate to not get P3.
Yeah. And there he is, Lucozade, my driver of the day. Definitely. Super, super quick. Super consistent. But it is Lucozade that finishes on the top step ahead of Camel Banana and Rodri in P3. Canuck gets P4 ahead of Craig. In the end gets P5. Dutch P6. Nico John gets P7. Grayson gets P8. Noob gets P9 after penalties. Disgruntled P10. Tac Delta P11. Cersei P12. Tafur P13. And Darth rounds off the grid with a P14 DNF. But I think that is it for this week. Next week we have the midweek Wednesday race, which is at Canada on the 15th. So definitely check that out. Of course, the VODs, well, Tier 1 did not have a stream, so unfortunately that one will be missed. But if you missed the stream, check that out. Also subscribe and follow the Twitch if you haven't already. Next week is my championship pick, which is Las Vegas.
Which no one's looking forward to.
Absolutely no one is enjoying my championship pick, but that is what they get for not being able to beat me. But that is gonna be it from us. Do you have anything to...
I've got nothing else to say except from it was really nice to watch. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining me in the booth. But yeah, that is it from us. Remember, midweek tier at 2:30 a.m. for me. I will be there. But until next time, enjoy yourselves, take care of each other, and have a good rest of your Sundays. Take care, everyone, and